What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is your girl Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money Club. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why my intro didn't come on because I'm on the wrong. No, I'm not on the wrong one. This is what we're gonna do. You guys come on in. Everybody come on in. We're gonna talk to Dr. Jones today, and we're gonna talk about sex, money, pleasure, how all of these things work together to ensure that you can get the optimal amount of money while you get the optimal amount of pleasure. So you guys come on in. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this is the Grow Your Money podcast, and this is where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. Because if you blow your money, ain't a damn thing funny, y'all. So listen, you guys tap in. I'm on the wrong profile. I'm trying to tap in so I can get you some of my information. Where's that? Jesus. This is a Great Money Club. So, if this is your first time, every Thursday we talk to our resident physician, Dr. Shirley Jones, and she always brings us things that we can, health wise, everything that's going to enhance our life in one way or another, in a meaningful way. And what I love about Dr. Jones is she makes it plain. Like, she understands what we as Black women, Black men, our Black community needs in everyday life, practical ways that we can optimize our health. And then it translates to money. So last time we were on here, we talked to Dr. Jones about sex and pleasure and all the things that we need in order to just keep going and keep healthy. But the part that we didn't talk about was the money piece. So I'm going to bring Dr. Jones on here so that we could actually talk about the money piece, how sex, cortisol, and pleasure actually impacts your bottom line. So make sure you go and tell everybody that we're live, and this is the Grow Your Money podcast. I'm going to bring Dr. Jones on. What's up, Dr. Jones?
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
I was a little thrown off because my intro didn't come up, so I was not. I was like, but anyway, I want to get everybody.
I was ready to.
I know, like that. Get me
excited. Yeah, get in the mood.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to do all that. Dr. Jones, what's up? Last week we didn't come live. Well, I was doing something. I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't in the office, but the week before, you and I, and April was on with us, and we chatted cortisol, and money, and sex, and we kind of got, because I think it was all because April was here. We kind of got caught up in orgasms.
You're gonna put it on April.
I'm gonna put it on April because I don't have a dirty mind like that, Dr. Jones. You know. So since April was here, we got caught up in like the minutia of the sex stuff. But I'm a wealth activist, and so my thing is, how does this affect your bottom line? And so I want to get more into that piece of it and talk about that. So let me ask you. So just to recap, one of the things you said is that if I could just piggyback off of the orgasm thing, you said we need more orgasms. So for the people who are just joining in, who didn't tune in last week, tell us why, and then we'll lead into the next part.
Okay. So how it all started was, our body is run by a nervous system, two sides. The fight or flight side, which is our cortisol side, which we call the sympathetic, and our parasympathetic, which is our calm, cool. We're supposed to exist more in the calm, cool, pleasurable side of our nervous system.
So that means we should be having orgasms all day? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Well, whatever gets you to calm, cool, to activate your vagus nerves. But probably not all day, because that'd be kind of addictive behavior.
It's not a bad addiction, I tell you.
But so you're supposed to exist that's when your body works better, when your mind is clearer. You don't make quick judgments and you don't make quick decisions. You think about things. Your liver works well and detoxifies, gets rid of fat, and your whole body is just, working well and balanced.
Okay.
It's your pleasure, it's your thought process, it's your body, it's just how you feel.
Okay.
Today's environment throws us more into cortisol excess because of the stressors. The stressors of life, the stressors of being Black in America, the stresses of ICE, the stresses of this mad king regime that we're under, or whatever dictatorship.
Dictatorship.
Dictatorship. authoritarianism,
Yeah.
the stressors of being sick, the stressors of being in bad relationships, the stressors of being broke,
Mm.
trauma stressors, just trying to live with the Joneses. In America, we are more about grind, 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 get, more, 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 more money, more money, more money. And we don't think about our bodies, that we
Mm-hmm.
only get one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't take care of it, unlike we take care of cars, we take care of our designer bags and everything, but we don't take care of our bodies
Yeah.
because we feed into it things that aren't good. The system hijacks our body. The system hijacks us and makes us addicted to um, fast foods, fried foods, preservatives. And it all feeds back into the more mentality. We go to the grocery store, we want it quick, fast, and a lot of it. And I
Mm.
want to keep it because it makes me feel good. So I'll store it in all these different refrigerators and freezers. And we don't realize we're not getting fresh food. Food is not meant to stay around forever when you want it. It's always there, it's always growing. You should be able to, just get enough for now. The other thing is someone said in the comments, sugar. Sugar is the addiction. It keeps you
Right.
going back for the sticker bar, for the alcohol, for all of this, because it actually causes our hormones, the pleasure hormones, and it causes addiction. And we
Mm.
call that dopamine addiction. So what you do is you try to get that next high, the dopaminergic high. So you always want to feel good, so you get more, more, more. And the sad part about it, sugar is his. The sad part about it is that that's what capitalism is based on. Selling us more so they can make more money. More, more, more. I have a
Right.
purse. Oh, an iPhone. You have the i12, iPhone 15. They're trying to sell 16, trying to sell 17. Your 15 is working fine, but it's about the new biggest best thing. And so a lot of times we get caught up into that. We get hijacked. Our whole body gets hijacked by sugar and by the preservatives. And
Mm.
so what happens is we end up being on the cortisol side, which is you get wired and tired because you can't sleep. You want more, more, more. You work more to provide more so that you can have more, so that you can please the Joneses who feel worse than you.
Right. Everybody's struggling.
Everybody's struggling because
Mhm.
what you see is all an illusion.
Mhm. That is the
People
truth.
create the illusion that they're
Yeah.
doing great. I'm traveling, I'm doing all of this, but they don't tell you about what they're doing to keep that lifestyle going.
Right, right. Social media is definitely an illusion maker. And I would say, especially, well, I think our age and up knows a little bit better, but when you get into the millennials probably might not much as much, but like the Gen Zs, right? That's
Oh
my
yeah,
daughter's age, your daughter's age. They
yes.
they have lived their life by watching other people's
Others
lives
and
on social
comparisons.
and comparisons. And so then what does that do for them and how their body reacts to that?
So comparisons mean now they put unrealistic expectations on everything.
Hmm.
They don't want to see themselves get old. So you see women, fixing their wrinkles, fixing their faces. Oh, their breasts are not big enough. Let's get a breast. Your butt is not big enough. It's always something. So they constantly live in this cortisol stressor high, which is why you see a lot of them, anxiety, being diagnosed with ADHD, being trying to commit suicide. It is amazing how many kids our daughters age, that Gen Z, have wanted to commit suicide, have thought about it, maybe not planned it, but just felt like they were not enough.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's the cortisol, the stressor, the wired and tired part. And your body can't live in that. That's chronic inflammation.
Mm. So
And
what do they
so
do?
when that happens, you make bad choices. You
That's
get into the wrong relationships. You
Yeah.
meet the wrong partner.
Right.
You will buy a Beyonce ticket before you pay your mortgage or
That
before
part.
you pay your rent. You will
Right.
drive a high-end car, but you can't afford to
Right.
maintain it or keep it. All about the comparison.
Yeah. And it's
And
like a
so
cycle.
it's
I'm sorry, Dr. Yeah.
broke,
Yeah. Yeah.
broke.
Yeah, that cycle of being broke. You're looking at this, which is also doing something to your nervous system, and then you're making the decisions based upon that, which also
Yes,
does something to your nervous system, and then the way you live, because now you robbing what you say. I'm trying to figure out
even
which
to
one
pay
of these
Paul.
cycles. Yeah, I got to
Yeah,
rob from each month just to
right,
maintain this lifestyle, and what
right.
ends up happening is it the cortisol increases. Correct.
Right. The cortisol increases, you get depressed, you can't sleep, you get fat, you get anxious, you
Mm,
get diagnosed by the system ADHD or anxiety, depression. And then what happens is medications.
mm,
They add into the cycle. So now are you not only putting money into the designers, the houses, the all this stuff, you're now putting money into our medical system, which
mm.
is a sick health,
Wait a
not
minute. Wait a minute now. You are a medical doctor. You have you're a family. Wait, what kind of doctor are you?
family physician.
You're
And I also trained OBGYN.
a
Yes.
family physician, OBGYN. And
Mhm.
you mean to tell me that the medical system, there is a problem with the medical system?
We have been bamboozled, hijacked, everything. Because I will tell you, in medical school, most medical students back when I trained, we may have gotten one course about nutrition. We never learned that the plate should be your pharmacy. We never learned, look around. A lot of your doctors are fat. A lot of your doctors are having heart attacks. A lot of your doctors are dying before you do because they get caught up in the illusion too. They get caught up in the system.
So let me ask you a question before we go, because I got some questions about like, can sex solve this? Because I want to know how sex is related to this. But
Okay.
what? So you are in this matrix, Dr.
Yes.
Jones.
Well, I
You
took
are
myself
you.
out of the matrix.
But how did so what made you even want to even be a doctor in the first place?
So I have always wanted to be a doctor. As a little girl, I used to go and catch insects with my older brother is a scientist, and I used to call him a mad scientist. And we used to go catch insects and animals, and I would cut them open and inject them with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and watch the
And make them
frogs.
torture them?
And well, I was learning. I was learning
Sounds like
nature.
serial killer vibes to me, but whatever. Okay.
But anyway, I always loved the human body and was fascinated by it. And so I used to go and sneak into the hospital because back in the day, children couldn't go to the hospital.
Oh
And
wow.
so I would sneak in the hospital and, go to the OR and look in the window and look for some black doctors, and they'll let me in and, put me on the stool because I was always very, very short until I hit high school. And my parents had no idea where I was.
Are you serious?
Yes. And so I always wanted to be this doctor, but growing up in Montgomery, Alabama, in the middle of, the Martin Luther King era, Black people, our hospital was segregated and they
Mm,
only, for Black people. And so that's why, but there were white doctors, but a very few Black doctors. So that's why, I was told not to be a doctor. I was told to
mm,
be a nurse or something else, a teacher. And so, I pushed past that. I stole books. I was like, I got to be a doctor. So, move forward. And the short version is, as becoming a doctor, graduated from medical school, went to residency, had my daughter, became a single mom. And I was so sick. I developed diabetes, high blood pressure, I was overweight, and I would work, eat, and everything just came to an end because I had so many medicines. I actually were taking more medicines and was sicker than my patients. And I was like, hey, something's wrong with this picture. I look around at my attendings. They are all eating fast food, overweight,
The
wired.
other doctors? The other
Yes,
doc? Ooh.
the other doctors, wired and tired, having heart attacks, having strokes. And I'm like, something's matter with this picture. I'm supposed to be a healer. I know how the body works. Let me start figuring out what is the issue. So I started studying the human body and functional medicine and realized it's what you eat. So I changed what I eat. I first went vegetarian. I went only to chicken and fish. And that's when, I got off most of my medicines for the diabetes, got my high blood pressure control, lost some weight, had great energy because I needed that being a single mom, being a physician and a, single mom trying to manage what was on my plate. And so I did great. But then how I transitioned into vegan is when menopause hit. It was no longer the 2 or 3 meds. It was insulin. It was feeling tired. I grew this stomach down at the bottom that women get when they, yeah, the poompa, the grandmother laid a baby on part.
Ooh.
Lay the grandbaby on your tummy.
Oh no, with no grandbabies.
With no grandbabies, and the part up under your arm that the little children
Hell no,
like to rub and say, "Oh, it's so soft."
Oh no, that means you should be stirring that pot. That means those are the women who be cooking good, boy, cooking them greens and them fat backs and everything else. So you was developing all
so
that.
I realized, it is those are hormonal shifts. It's a lack of estrogen. And from studying, I realized all of this, and that's why I was like, I'm going to cure myself. I'm going to make my plate my pharmacy. So I became vegan. I gave up all the meat, all the sources of cholesterol, well, bad cholesterol and fat. And then I also start to notice as I ate whole foods, which are fresh vegetables that are in season, watermelons with seeds, that, because the myth is, oh, if you're diabetic, you can't eat fruit. Well, if you're eating the processed fruit, the fake fruit, the GMO fruit. So then I started to notice, I lost a whole lot of weight. I actually started having all this energy. And that's when I created 2 businesses, started doing podcasts. I have so much energy. I feel great. I sleep well. And it was all going from a plate to a pharmacy. So then I said, I got to get the message out and let everybody know you too can feel better.
Wow.
You have to be intentional. You have to be your own advocate. Ask questions to your doctors. If your doctor doesn't know, find you one that does.
Be an advocate for yourself.
Advocate
That is so interesting because, as I listen to your story and I'm thinking, you have these people who are in medical school for so long. And you said in all the time that you were in medical school, you had one nutritional class.
Yes, one nutritional
One
class.
class on nutrition. And so our
And it
doctor,
wasn't a whole class. It may have been like one day.
and so
Yeah.
it's not even a whole semester, right? Really?
No, it was not a whole semester. It wasn't even more than one day because I remember like looking through the stuff like, okay. And on the test, it may have been like 3
This
questions.
is crazy. This is so
Yeah.
ironic because what you're telling me, Dr. Jones, is that our health, everything that we do is based upon what we put in our mouth. And the doctors that we go to when we get sick are not even trained in that very thing. You have
True.
one day class.
Right.
And you're saying food is our medicine. You're saying instead, so what I hear you say, instead of you taking a pill, your medicine became the things that you put in your mouth, which was food.
Yes. It's
And
how I
doctors
ate,
aren't
how I
trained.
treated my body, getting enough sleep. I actually made a video about breathe, eat, move, sleep, and chill. Do those things
Move.
and you will see a difference in your body. So breathe. Take
Put it
some
in the
deep
comments.
breaths.
Breathe.
Breathe. Take some deep breaths. Take a deep breath in, hold it, blow it back out, and hold it. We call it box breathing. So you do it for 4. You count to 4 and do that. And what that does, it brings oxygen in so it can go and stimulate and go throughout your body and, turn on these processes that we don't do, because when you're in cortisol, you tend to shallow breathe. You're like, I got to do this. I got to do that. And nobody takes a deep breath, because most people sit over like this or lean over, or they're sitting on the couch and they're sitting on the couch, they're back like this. So
That's
your
what I do.
diaphragm doesn't have enough room for you to.
That should
And
actually
that
be a
gives you
that
so
you do in
much.
the morning.
Right. And preferably do it outside in an area
Mhm.
that doesn't have a lot of smog, and which is another issue about where we live in America.
Mhm.
But there are places you can go and get out in nature and try to breathe that's, not so contaminated. And so
Right.
that's breathe,
Mhm.
eat.
Mhm.
Only buy food that is whole food. That's fresh food.
Mhm.
Find you, if you eat meat, I get it. Everybody can't, is not at the level, or is not where they want to be vegan. I get that. But if you could just eat more vegetables, you
Mhm.
know, let's, go each week add another vegetable, a green leafy vegetable, not a starchy vegetable, because
Right.
that's where you get these vegetarians that are overweight. They're eating a lot of
Why do
starch.
why do vegetarians say that Oreo cookies are
It's
vegan?
not, that's just because they're not vegetarian. It's an excuse. We always make up excuses for things we want to do, bad habits we have.
Why are vegans the fattest? What do they
Vegans
eat?
aren't fat. True vegans are not fat. No,
So-called
they're
vegans.
not. That's a lie. That's a myth.
Okay. So
If a
breathe, eat.
person is very, then they've made themselves, they've withdrawn meat and they didn't do it the right way and they don't know how to do it.
So they're just doing meat, but they're probably still eating some type of processed foods too.
Right. They're probably eating a bunch of processed foods and they're eating starchy vegetables, because potatoes, a lot of people don't know how to eat. And so they're doing it on their own. They're not doing their research, because they have to understand the body is metabolically run. What we
Right.
take in tells the body how to release hormones. So if you're eating a bunch of fruit and potatoes that are fried, a lot of people do French fries and say they're vegetarian
They
and vegan.
do. That they do.
You know,
I've seen it. Yeah.
no, because 9 times out of 10, the the oil they're using is fatty oil. It's not good oil. And then, the frying, But the thing is to switch to, if you don't want to go vegan, just switch to eating whole foods. If you eat meat, definitely don't eat your pork and your beef.
I was looking for my book, The Transition, as you were talking.
Oh, okay.
Jones has a book called The Transition that teaches us how, yes, that one right there, that teaches us how to eat. But my kids,
Amazon.
yeah, yeah, available on Amazon. My kids lightweight clean my office, so it's not on my desk
Yeah,
anymore.
but what happens is a lot of vegans, a lot of people say that they're vegan, but they're not, because they're not doing the research. Because there are a lot of things you can't eat because it has animal fat in it.
Right,
Potato chips have animal fat.
right,
Most of the nuts they're being sold in the stores, animal fats,
yeah,
and the salts and the preservatives. True vegans don't eat all of that.
right,
Okay,
right,
we look and we pay attention. If we go out for a restaurant, we ask, what do you use to cook with this? What are you putting in there? What did you do with this? Because you know where the hitting things are, and you don't put that in your body.
right.
Just like you wouldn't go if you drove a high-end car, like, well, we couldn't use a Tesla, but okay, well, even if a Tesla, um, you don't just plug up to any source of energy. Right? You have specific sources of energy you have to plug into if you
Right,
want your car to run. Why do
right.
we treat our body any less?
You know, we don't even feed dogs what we feed ourselves, because dogs end up getting
Exactly.
cancer. It's not
Exactly.
healthy. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's the third thing? So you said breathe, eat.
So breathe, eat, and then move. And you don't have to go join the gym, because that was the other thing we were going to talk about this time, is that if you're over the age of 40, you should not be working out with a trainer unless you are an athlete. Because when you're working out at that, especially as a female, men train for their body makeups. They are more muscular than we are. We don't have that. We're more fat-based, adiposity. And it's because of hormonal, because we're women, we're supposed to have babies. That's what our bodies are made for, regardless of what gender you want to be. But this is, physically what the hormones we release is for. So when you lose your estrogen, you tend to go more toward the fatty side and less muscle side. So how you get that, you don't go and start lifting all these heavy weights. What you do is you move. You just 20
You
minutes.
Zumba, you do aerobics, you do stepping.
Yeah, do yoga. You
Do
can
yoga,
do
Pilates.
Tai Chi. You
Yeah.
can go to YouTube and get a free video and do it every morning, and it just moves. Walking
Right.
in place. Walk your neighborhood if you have a good neighborhood, or where, there's no ice or, no
I
issue.
mean, if you have if they shooting in your neighborhood, that might put some pep in your step. So
And you run.
we can run too. So
No, but then your cortisol is going to go up. And then
okay. So it has the opposite effect. Okay,
Yeah.
so move is
So move.
Okay.
Just get off the couch, 15, 20 minutes a day. And then the other thing is, so I said, breathe, eat, move, sleep. Let's try adding going to bed 30 minutes earlier.
Okay.
Let's just start there. Because the average person is so wound up and they can't turn their head off because they're in this wired and tired cortisol. So they're up all night or they're up all day, and their mind is thinking. They're thinking about what I'm gonna do next. Like somebody else I know. What I'm gonna do next? What I'm gonna be doing? And they don't sleep 8 hours.
I know people like that.
And they don't sleep 8 hours. They're up texting at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, that's what we do in America.
Yeah.
When you travel, that's the good thing about moving is make one of your move thing, range a vacation. Take a vacation.
Yeah.
That's the last one. We'll get to that. Okay. So the going to sleep just 30 minutes before. Turn off the screens. Okay. The blue light in the screens decrease melatonin. So you're not going to be sleepy if you're looking at your phone, if you're watching a movie, if you got all these overhead lights on in your bedroom. One thing I do tell people who are in my reset program is to get the blue light blocker glasses. And after 5, watch TV with those glasses on. Or if you got to get on the computer, put the glasses on or check your phone. But definitely stop at least 2 hours before you go to bed.
So if you have the blue light blocker glasses, that's going to decrease the lack of melatonin.
Right, because the light goes through your eyes, the nerves in your eyes, and it goes to your brain and cuts off your melatonin.
That's crazy. Wow.
And the overhead lights. That's why back in the day, back slave days and even older, before they had electricity, people went to bed early because they didn't have these overhead lights. When we keep these overhead lights on after 5 p.m., it signals the body something's wrong, because we are based on circadian rhythm. Our bodies are based on, remember, we're natural human beings like the plants, everything. The whole earth is based on a lunar calendar, lunar solar calendar. So when the sun comes up in the morning, the sun is here, it decreases the melatonin and wakes you up. As the sun goes midday, then you're your widest awake and you turn on all those hormones to wake you up. Then as the sun, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, the melatonin said, oh, we're getting close to where we're supposed to be getting calming down and going to sleep, but we don't. We turn lights on. And so you got all these lights up here, and then your body was like, well, wait a minute. I thought the sun was going down, but I see all these lights. So melatonin don't come out.
So you said back in the day, people used to go to sleep at like 6. So how much sleep were they getting?
Well, whenever the sun went down.
So and then
they had light, they had lamps. So
and then they would wake up.
It's ambient light. So then if you put light, if you need light, then use candles, use your lamps, because they're not overhead, they're here.
So
it won't affect your melatonin.
So they used to get like 12 hours of sleep. So they would go down. They would literally go.
They would get up early when the sun rises. They would get up.
12 hours, isn't it? From sundown to sunup.
No, sometimes it's. Well, it depends on the time of the year and where you are in the equator and all of that. But pretty much it's from, sometimes sun like here in Florida, the sun can come up at 5. You start coming up. It's not jet black outside. It'll
11 hours.
Yeah. But then, they go
sleep in.
They not always sleep. That's why they had so many children. They got to find something to do.
Speaking of which,
going back to pressure.
Deborah wants to know, should she remove her battery operated boyfriend from away from her bed?
Yes. Yes. Put it in the bathroom. Use it and then get up and put it away. Move all your electric things away from your bedroom, because they also give off electromagnetic that affects your melatonin in your brain. And so the problem is that, good morning. The problem is that a lot of things interrupt our sleep. It's not just, the lights, is any electromagnetic, anything. It gives off waves. Like your TVs. That's why in blue zones, a lot of people don't have TVs in their bedroom. A lot of people put one TV in the house.
Tell them what a blue zone is.
Huh?
Tell them what a blue zone is.
A blue zone are where there are people that live into their hundreds.
Yep.
Without medicine, do fine. Our average life expectancy in the United States is in the, they say 80s, but people are dying left and right in their 60s and 70s. And we think that's normal.
Right. So I gotta admit, I have like my charger in the bed with me.
All of that, put it in the bathroom, or
snacks in the bed with me. Like when you single, it's just different. This season of my life, I got some shit in my bed that I absolutely should not have laying next to me. But those, but the cords and stuff is, is there too. And I need to take that out.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's just like having a house near one of those big electric generators. That's another thing, when you're showing people houses, if you care about the person, tell them, don't buy this one.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get those electromagnetic from those big, what I'm talking about, the big
windmills? The windmills?
Oh, the electric generators.
The electric.
That look like, this. We got the wires.
Yeah. The electric,
here in Florida, a lot of big fancy subdivisions are behind them.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is, what's going to happen is that constant radiation that you're getting from all of that. And a lot of times the realtors don't know, but I promise the developers know.
Absolutely. They have to do,
they know that people are not going to live long enough to, yeah,
they have to do air tests, soil tests. They have to do all those things before they even start developing. So they know what it is that they're getting into.
They know. They know. Yeah. And so the thing is, a lot of, money passes to ignore. And, there are studies that show living by those cause all type of blood cancers in the future.
So I want to circle back to what you were saying. So wait, we said eat, sleep. That was the last one.
Okay. Breathe, eat, sleep, move, and the last one is chill,
Okay.
which is pleasure.
Okay.
Because pleasure will
What kind of
actually break
pleasure?
the cycle, any type of pleasure.
Okay.
Pleasure will actually break the cycle and activate your vagus nerve to calm your system down and put you back in the nervous system of calm, relax, heal, lose weight, feel better.
Okay.
And what that
So,
is whatever it is for you. But one of the things that is built in by our bodies as a human, we're given the pleasure of an orgasm. And there are not many species on this earth that actually they have found that actually have orgasmic, where you're releasing hormones and the pleasure centers associated with their genitals and
wait,
reproduction.
only humans?
Humans and a few other things, but it's not many. A lot of
Mm.
reproduction is strictly reproduction. And so
Mm.
as humans, this was given to us because it helps. If That's why after a breakup and it's fighting and all that stuff, that makeup sex is so good, because it's throwing you, boom, back into a vagus calm mode. It literally turns off the cortisol and bumps you back down. And you just feel like, and
Yeah.
so pleasure can be, somebody said,
Ne-
good food, good men, good people,
Never
like
all of the above, baby. All of the above. Yes,
all of the
hunty.
above. If you're feeling yourself stressed, and pleasure is a release.
Yeah.
So having an orgasm is a release. You release the hormones that actually decrease cortisol.
So how many
An
times
orgasm.
how many times a week should we be having sex?
Well, that depends on you, but at least three, not sex, having an orgasm.
Okay.
Because some people have sex but do not, because that's what we were talking about our last.
Right.
There are a lot of women that have not been taught.
So they're all tied up. They're all wound up.
And
they're
it's
not
more about pleasing the partner and pretending, once again, the illusion that, I got there, he's like this, and they didn't go nowhere, you know. And
Speaking of
so
which,
that's where relationship that's where it's so important to have conversations with
yeah.
partners, whatever that looks like for you, is to have a conversation and lead the person. But for you to have a conversation, you got to know what pleases you yourself. And
So
so, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. And so what?
So one of the things is, as we age, we go down in hormones. And so in males and females, it makes, in women, they're somebody say quick draw my draw.
Yeah,
Quick
yeah.
draw
Quick
my
drama.
draw. Yeah.
It's supposed to
And
be quick
so
drama.
that's a decrease in testosterone. And
Mhm.
so, fun fact,
Mhm.
which I was discussing with a patient of mine,
Mm.
I can leave it at that. How many people are on GLP-1s? That's the weight loss drug. And they
Okay.
get on it, they buy it cheaply from these little things online. You can get
Yeah,
it
they're
for,
doing that online now.
yeah, but what they're missing is a physician to tell them that you just can't pull yourself off, because it decreases your appetite and it decreases your cholesterol. Cholesterol is one of the products that leads to your sex hormones. You need cholesterol for your sex hormone. So for
Do
your
you?
testosterone, it's here in the pathway, and testosterone and estrogen are down here. So then they wonder why, when they start coming off the GLP-1s, their ejaculations, it takes them forever to get their ejaculations.
Are they getting aroused at least?
They get aroused, but they just 45 minutes and still going. What's
And
going on here? And it's because you don't have enough cholesterol. They have problems with sleep. They have problems. So that's why it's so important not to quick fix going to these things online, because these people don't know.
Yo,
And yeah.
I'm about to be on TV in a couple months. And I was like, okay, I need to lose some weight. So I'm gonna go ahead and get one of the things so I can, just drop a quick 15. So you mean to tell me I
But,
shouldn't be
but understand, to do that, that's fine. Which there are other things you can do that with. You can do that with phentermine.
right, right.
But just know once you come off that, now phentermine is totally different. It's just a speeder upper.
Right.
Phentermine, you just gain it back. You
Yeah,
don't go through these metabolic issues.
right.
The GLP-1s are metabolic drugs. They change hormone and how your body reacts. And
Hey.
a lot of people don't know that. They're just writing the scripts, and people coming off fatigued, can't sleep, can't get erections, can't get, well, they can get the erections, but they can't get to the end, Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
would be torture.
always, sometimes it's not good to take a shortcut.
Ashwagandha is a good herb to take.
Yes, ashwagandha actually decreases cortisol. And so it will calm you down. You can take it at night before bed. Magnesium is a muscle relaxer. You can take it before bed. Melatonin, I do not suggest taking it unless you know what you're doing,
Deborah Wood said, why do GL1 takers have a dry face look about them?
because it's muscle loss. It deals with your metabolism. You're getting rid, it's switching the pathway of where you get your sugar from. So the body still needs sugar. Okay. So it burns the fat, but it also gets real from muscle. So a lot of people that go on GLP-1s lose muscle. And
Mm,
their appetites are decreased, so they don't drink enough water and they
mm.
dehydrate. But if you getting it shortly through
Through what?
these online things, nobody's gonna tell you that. I mean, because
Yeah,
you're not dealing with a physician. And
right,
I'm
right.
not sure all physicians know enough to even know that.
Right. Everything is so new. And do
Yeah,
we really know
everything is very new.
do we know the long-term effect of it all?
Well, they're safe drugs because we've used them forever for diabetes. They're
Okay.
phenomenal drugs to help people get their diabetes and cholesterol in order. But we monitor that.
Yeah.
When they made it so it's so easy to get and everybody's making it and you can do it
Yeah.
cheaply, nobody's monitoring that. And so
Right.
people
It's
are
like the
going to
Wild
be
West.
so whacked when they come off because they going to say, oh, I got to this point. I've got to I'm going to just come off and all hell going to break loose.
So how long does it take to get your mojo back after you get off of it?
Well, you have to throw the body back into rebuilding muscle again. So there are things we have to give you to get you back, that metabolic nervous system back balanced.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So last time
This is not just a weight loss drug. This is a drug that actually changes how your body metabolizes fat and energy and sugar. That's why it's such an effective weight loss drug. So
mm,
people have to know, the people who are writing it and giving it to you have to know how to get your body out of that back into a normal metabolic way to use your fuel. And
yeah.
most people don't.
Wow. So last time we were on here, we read a letter. So somebody sent another letter. So I want to read it to you if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So they said, I never thought I would be writing something like this, but here we are. On paper, I look fine. I have a decent job. I pay my bills. I'm not homeless or broke, but I'm always behind, always tired, always anxious about my money, even when the numbers say I should be okay. I live in a constant state of stress. Work stresses me out, family stresses me out, my relationship stresses me out, and money is always sitting in the background like this low humming noise I can't turn off. Here's the part I don't like. Here's the part I don't talk about to anybody. My relationship has no intimacy, no real connection. Sex feels like another obligation or something we argue about instead of something that brings us close. I feel lonely while sharing a bed with somebody. I did not connect this money. I didn't connect this to money until recently. When I'm stressed, I spend not on big things, on little things that add up. Food deliveries because I'm exhausted. Amazon orders because it feels like control. Subscriptions I forget about because I cannot mentally deal with them in there. I can't focus long enough. What happened? Can you hear me? I hear something going on. You there?
Was that your mic?
That was your mic. I don't have a mic.
Oh, I don't have a mic either.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't focus long enough to plan. I start budgets and abandon them. I know what I should do, but my body feels like it's always in survival mode. When intimacy is missing, I feel more anxious, more irritable, less patient. I snap at small things. I procrastinate. I avoid my bank account. I avoid hard conversations. I avoid decisions. I thought I was lazy or bad with money or undisciplined. Now I'm wondering if my nervous system is fried. I'm constantly on edge. My sleep is trash. My libido is non existent. My stress feels physical. Tight chest, racing thoughts, shallow breath, breathing, and money decisions feel heavy, overwhelming, and emotional. I feel like I'm always reacting instead of leading my life. I want to build wealth. I want peace. I want clarity, but it feels impossible when my body is always in fight or flight. I never realized that stress, hormones, lack of intimacy, and money might all be connected, but now that I see it, I can't unsee it. If anybody's been through this, I'd like to know how you broke the cycle because I'm tired of surviving and I want to actually build something. What do
That
they?
is a good example of chronic inflammation, cortisol overload, what I call wired and tired.
So what do? They do those 5 steps.
She needs to go to askdrj.info and sign up for the functional medicine consult because
Okay.
I have to rewire her metabolic system and her hormones to get in the right nervous system. Until
Okay.
she does that, she's going to have a physical illness because your body can't stay with that inflammation.
So she's always in fight or flight mode. So she's always
Right,
stressed, cortisol. And so that leads to inflammation and which also
right.
leads to disease.
Disease, heart attack, strokes. Yes.
So okay, so she needs to call you. But what are some?
Disease, cancer. And then she's actually feeding the bad stuff by eating all the processed foods. She was
Mm,
saying she's ordering out Uber Eats. There's nothing on Uber Eats somebody should be bringing you, and you paying them.
right, right, right,
You
right.
paying them to bring you death in a bag
At your doorstep. Death at your
to your
doorstep.
doorstep, and you
Yeah.
paying them extra. So not only are you making bad decisions about what you're eating, financially, it doesn't make sense
Mm,
because they upcharge the food,
right,
then they charge other charges. So a $12 meal ends up being 34.
right. That's true.
So
I've seen.
financially, you're gonna be broke and you're
Right,
doing it all the time. Look how
right.
much money you could be saving.
Yeah, that is true. It's just a cycle. It sounds like a
It's a cycle.
cycle.
It is a cycle.
Whew.
It's a cycle that was created
Ah,
by our United States for greed, and we're caught in it.
yeah, yeah. I was
We've been hijacked.
no, I was watching I saw this interview from this lady in Greenland yesterday. And you know how Trump is talking about taking over Greenland and thinking and he's thinking like he could pay them off and they'll be happy and they're like we don't want to be like Americans. We don't
Thank
need
you.
that
You
greed.
hear
We
what
don't
they
want
say.
that money. We love free healthcare. We
Right,
love our free education. We don't own our land. We don't own any like we're happy.
right.
And so when you
We
talk
don't
about
need all this stuff, all the extra big stuff. We don't
yeah,
need everything you Americans need.
yeah. And so we have this overconsumption and this over consumerism that leads to all of these things which
It
this
leads
is
to death, early
yeah,
death.
that leads to death. This is why we have high disease rates in this
Right,
country. And then Black people are disproportionately more affected than
right.
everybody else because of various factors. We're not seeing the doctor as early. We don't have the medical. We're not educated. We're not advocating for ourselves. There's not enough Black doctors. I mean, it's a vicious cycle, and we're caught up in the matrix. So, with that being in mind, especially for Black people, what do we do, like as in general, as a whole, of how can we just kind of make our lives better with the little things that we can do, little steps.
So the first thing you need to do is go out in your garage, your backyard, wherever you are, and scream, "Stop the madness."
Mm. Go out there and scream it.
Scream
Stop
it.
the
Stop the madness. I'm
madness.
taking
Like,
myself back. I'm getting out. I'm breaking the cycle. You have got to do it yourself. You've got to say, "I'm breaking the cycle." And you see it with everybody that is moving out of the United States for the next 3 to 4 years.
yeah.
A lot of people are moving, and look at where they're moving to. They're moving to places where they get fresh food, they get fresh air. They're not collecting. They're moving to places where it's only like 600 meters, 300 and that's 600 square feet for 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
They only go with the clothes on their back, and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have TVs in every room. They go out and they sit with the people. They don't even have ovens, because they go and they eat at the fresh food places on the outside, and they meet other people and they talk, and then they
Wow.
walk there 'cause they don't have cars. And
Yeah.
look, watch some of the videos on YouTube, and what happens, they tell you about how much better they feel. So
Mm.
even if you can't move, this is the lifestyle you should create for yourself.
You can adopt that
Stop
same
the
lifestyle.
madness. Stop grinding so much that you can't sleep. Do you
Mhm.
really need another whatever?
Yeah.
We can really go without a lot.
Yeah.
We just like to collect.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really survival in this country. You think about, we worry and stress ourselves over jobs that could give a damn about us. Remember the
Exactly.
CEO that got killed by Luigi? Before he got taken to the morgue, they had a new job opening on LinkedIn for his position. And here he is, a CEO that's making
CEO.
decisions
Right.
for a big company.
Right.
And it was business as usual the next day. People are
Right.
sacrificing their lives for these
Right.
careers, and it's just not, there's no return on investment, not a real return on investment.
Right.
It may be financial, but it's not a real. And what are you sacrificing?
And
What
then
profit?
what's financial? I
Yeah.
mean, really, think about it. You'd rather make 6 figures, all this money. You don't get to see your family. You don't spend time with your children. They going haywire. You don't have to, you end up getting divorced. You get sick. You get on medicines. You got this big house. You got to hire somebody to clean it. You got to hire somebody to cut the grass, hire somebody to do this, hire somebody to that. All for what? Your 6-figure income, your 7-figure income, your 8-figure income. And then you die at 60 because you got
Mhm.
cancer or you got whatever. And so now all the money you made, you're not going to spend it anyway
Yeah.
because you're
Whew.
going to die young. Whereas walk outside, say, "Stop the madness. Let me get myself together, bring myself back in, and decide, what am I going to do?" We're
Yeah.
giving you the information. You decide how it fits you. All I can do is provide the information, but at least you're hearing the information. We're
Yeah.
having the discussions
Yeah. And
that
even
we
with
can't
mentors.
keep going. And even with the environment of all this hatred,
Mhm.
it's almost like, let's keep them in the cycle, let's keep them wound up, because now they're starting to eat better, but we're going to frustrate them. Cut
Mhm.
off the TV.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Put
know,
your phone down.
put your phone down. Or if
Mhm.
you do, change the algorithm. Start
Mhm.
putting funny stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That all of this is definitely food for thought. I'm so glad that we have this platform, and I'm so glad we have people that are always here that are getting educated. I get educated every time I sit down and talk to you. And I mean, you always give me something to one to grow on. thought provoking things to change our lives. And it's so important that we not just be listening, but that we be doing, right? And not only that we be doing, but that we're teaching other people the same thing. There
Right.
are things that I learned from you that I, tell my friends. I remember I was telling my girlfriend that she was saying how her cousin just died suddenly. He's 40 years
Mhm.
old, and he just died out the blue. And he had something that his parents had and all that. And I said, one of the things that Dr. Jones said is that we also inherit, we don't just inherit diseases through genes, but we inherit them through habits, familial habits. That's something that I was like, because
It's
we're
like,
doing the same thing. Yeah, that was mind blowing because
right.
we're doing the same thing that our parents did, our grandparents did. We're eating the same ways, and that's why we're developing the same diseases. And so a
Not
lot of
only
people,
family, but friends. If you
friends,
hang around a bunch of fat friends that all y'all do is go eat fried chicken and
yeah,
this, and you do that for years, y'all both gonna have strokes. Y'all gonna be
right,
talking to each other in the nursing home.
right, right. And here's another thing: a lot of people here, I'm sure, know this, but a lot of people out there didn't know that you could cure diabetes by your diet. People don't know that because doctors ain't telling them that because what they're doing is they're putting them on medication. You can lower your cholesterol. You don't have to be on cholesterol medication. You can lower your blood pressure. So all these things can happen by the medication that you put in your mouth. Instead of you putting a pill, you put food, the right
Your
food. And
plate
so
is your pharmacy,
your plate is your pharmacy.
but
And
you
so
need help to do that.
yeah, that's why we got asked Dr. J. And one of the things that I love, because I did a consultation and I paid for my consultation because I believe in investing in myself in all different ways. But she looked at my blood work. She told me, what I needed to do. My cholesterol was a little elevated. She told me what I needed to do. I need to lose some weight. She told me what I needed to do, but it was specific for me based upon what was going on in my life, in my blood, and how my things showed up. All my testing showed up, and so it was specific to me. What else can they look forward to, like if they were to call you to get some information from you?
So the first thing you do if you are questionable about, actually just signing up for that, I am running a 30-day metabolic reset. And
Okay.
it will give you, if you go to Ask Dr. J, look for my 30-day metabolic reset for a nominal fee. And you will get me once a week and we'll talk about, and I'll tell you steps that you could do for 30 days to help try to switch your nervous system back over. However, a lot of people, like the person in the letter, um, 30 days is not long enough for her. She is going to need some one-on-one care because
Yeah.
we have really got to break the cycles that are there. And
Yeah.
it's metabolically, not just, and then she will see her mind will clear up. She
Wow.
won't be so frustrated and all of that.
Mm. So all of these different our life, we need you for just to live and to think differently. It starts with your mind, but there's things that specifically we need guidance on to help get us out of the matrix
And
of
that's
this
right.
Eurocentric capitalistic society that we are in that is killing us. I mean, we're dying, we're dying at record numbers at lower ages, and or we're suffering. To
Right.
see
We're
somebody,
like those little, what is the little hamsters on that
yeah,
wheel?
on that hamster
We
wheel,
keep running around until one day we have a heart attack.
right? There's nothing worse than seeing somebody suffer with cancer.
Right.
Painful, painful, painful. But it's like not if we're gonna die of cancer. It's like when, it's like when are we
Or
gonna get it?
even if you get taken out by a stroke first
Yeah.
or a heart
So
attack,
if there's things that we can do now to prevent those things, then we need to do it.
Right.
The investment is nominal compared to the return that we get on our investment. What we do now is going to determine how we live later. And so, if
Yes.
you don't know how to do it and you need guidance, invest in yourself to do it. That's what I
Right.
say. Yeah. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We hitting the 12 o'clock mark. Do you have any final words, Dr. J?
Final words is take your health in your own hands. Be intentional, just like you're intentional about buying that next house, by buying a new car, anything. Be intentional about your body because you only get one.
Mm. Now, Dr. Jones is a part of our community of Black women called the Net Seven Collective, and we have women from all over the world, that are just that come together, that build, that sustain, that grow, that are doing things to change their lives and their community lives. Look at what she's doing. Look at what she's doing right now in the community, of just helping save people's lives, not just change lives, but save them, like life or death type situations. And we have so many more brilliant women like Dr. Jones. So if you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman, who wants to be around other positive and powerful Black women, have them go to net7collective.com and we can schedule an appointment to talk to me. I would love to have a conversation with them about being a part of our community. I got another podcast in about an hour. I got to get some work done. Dr. Jones.
Mhm.
I got to work hard now for the few more months with lack of sleep, and then end of the year I plan on cutting back. But I don't got no choice. I have no choices. I have a lot to do and a lot of stuff that I'm getting ready to roll out, and I got to do it.
Prioritize. You got to prioritize sleep just as much as you prioritize everything you got to do. Because what good is it that you get all this done and then you so sick at the end that you can't even enjoy?
I plan to rest later.
You can't rest later.
Rest now.
Rest now. I mean, it's not like we're asking you to take 12 hours, just 30 more minutes. Start with
Okay.
30 more minutes a night. Not
Okay.
every night, 30 minutes every night for like the next month.
I'm gonna try
So like
really.
if you go to bed at 10, well, you go to bed at what, 2, 1?
I mean, I'm always teaching the class or doing all the things. So it's kind of hard because I get up early and then I'm teaching the class till 10, 11 o'clock at night and all that stuff. And then I work during the day and I got clients, I got agents, I got I'm doing all this other stuff. And so
So
it's
what
like
did you say about Luigi? Say the same thing to yourself about what you just said about Luigi.
I'm setting it up so I won't have to be like Luigi.
No,
I'm re
you
I
don't
had
get to choose when we leave.
listen, Dr. Jones.
I mean,
I was on a 2-year vacation.
what
I
does
got
that have to do with now?
because I'm back from vacation. I'm working. I'm back working again.
Yeah, but you have to work smarter.
You're right, not harder. My motto used to be nobody works harder than Constance Carter. I am working smarter, but I gotta put some stuff in
But
place.
that's an American thing.
Okay.
That's a fallacy. We need to talk about that one day.
Pray for
That's
me.
yeah.
Y'all pray for
Well,
me.
no,
Pray for
you
me.
got the education. I mean, just 30 minutes longer in the bed.
Oh, just laying in the bed?
No, sleep.
Oh.
Like go to bed 30 minutes.
Okay.
30 minutes.
Amen.
That's all.
We'll talk about it. Thank
We're
y'all. We'll see you. We see